Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant news and plenty going on in the Valorant world ahead of the start of VCT Masters, Rostermania all across the park, the FaZe Clan roster getting leaked, but also Ethan revealing that he's certainly not been scrimming the last few days with 100 Thieves. What could his potential next option be? Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you are new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really upset the channel, lots of new support the last few days. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. If you guys are watching the Formula 1 this morning, thought this is pretty funny. The sun was in the eyes when the enemy team locked in Skybreach in Phoenix. But this also, right, of course, as optics say, Masters coming up in a few days' time. Them arguably going in as favourites, but well, maybe Fnatic have something to say about that. With Derke just landing in Iceland last night. So as he says, landed in Iceland, can't wait until the tournament starts now. So he's tested negative, he should be good to go. I believe he has to probably quarantine for a couple of days, but that should be fine just in time for them to play their first match on the 11th. So I think he will be able to get to their first game. Even if he doesn't, he'll still be there for the rest of the group, and yeah, therefore he should be good to go to get Fnatic over the line through their group, qualify for the main stage, and potentially go all the way, right? That crazy double elimination bracket that's going to go down over these coming days. A great tournament format, I think, but yeah, of course, teams that didn't make it, looking to make some moves to make sure they do next time around. This just to mention real quick, so dapr, I believe Kusta, maybe Rush were kind of part of this CS project, which has now been ended, and they might go different directions. Will they some of these guys might return to Valorant? That's a question. Gay kind of says, welcome back to Valorant right here. He was wondering if that's a possibility. I believe, he kind of replies to this guy, says, no one in North America wants to be in IGL anymore in the Valorant side. So maybe, that's an option for dapr to potentially come back over. Interesting situation. Wanted to talk about Cloud9 as well, because for some reason, I really hadn't ever talked about this. I honestly hadn't heard about this, but there were potentially some rumors going around that the Cloud9 roster might change. But, they're not going to do so. George Geddes comes out and says, yes, they will retain the same Valorant roster going forward. No moves to report at this time. The decision comes after several meetings took place with the players. So I guess Cloud9, they're expecting to be number one. They're expecting to be on top. They were kind of the number one North American team for quite some time now. Before Optic and, the guard have both overtaken them in recent weeks. But at Champions last year, they were kind of the best representative from North America. They, of course, didn't make it to Masters, right? They would have made it if there was 3 spots from North America, which some people would argue there certainly most should have been. But, not making it was pretty gutting to those guys. But still, you would imagine they're going to retain their squad. I think they played probably well enough to make it on another day. But Cloud9 certainly will stay the same for now. You definitely cannot say the same, though, for some other teams, because, other rosters certainly are slipping down the pecking order. We'll discuss Sentinels here in a few minutes' time, because right now they're 6th in North America. And, questions have been raised about them. Like, if Cloud9 are even considering changes, and, even having internal discussions with the players to say, look, do we need to change this roster? Do we think this roster can take us back to the top? Like, trying everything they can to win. Surely, if you're Sentinels, you have to be considering some similar ideas as to whether that roster is potentially going to get back to number 1 again. They believe that can be the case here with Cloud9, so they're going to stick with it, at least for now. But, who knows what happens at Masters. Right, now let's talk about FaZe. Or at least, well, firstly, this from Poach. He yesterday confirms contract is official. Seemingly, this is going to be signing with FaZe as potential IGL for that roster. Many questions about what FaZe have planned to do. Of course, recently, they've really been having a difficult time with these open bracket qualifiers. Now, well, what they're planning to do, it seems, picking up a significant chunk of the Rise Nation roster might well give them the points they need and the kind of buy they might need to get through to the round of 32. We'll discuss that here in just a second, but firstly, we'll talk about NYFU. So, well, you guys know Anbox, former organization. They then basically got rid of Anbox and became NYXL, and now their Valorant team is called NYFU. So, not sure what's going on with there in terms of the branding. It's an interesting one, let's just say. But this seemingly is going to be the roster, joining Odorous on this team. Shot Up, Neptune, J-Sung, and your boy Dre might be joining this team as well. So, very interesting team. I think there was some discussion here from Zekan, actually, like, screw it, let's just take all the flexes on the market. So, honestly, very, solid bunch of players. Neptune from the Rise team, Shot Up as well, who was on FaZe for a little bit. Your boy Dre from LG. Really solid players, so I like the direction they're going here. Anbox was a very good team for some time, and then they kind of fell off a cliff, right? So they're definitely looking to upgrade their roster. Many teams looking to do the same thing. We'll talk about 100 Thieves here in a second, of course, but firstly, we've got to dive into FaZe. They confirmed yesterday, or at least George Geddes confirmed, kind of what we all presume to be the case, at least with Poised and Supermen joining this roster, that they were going to be getting a significant chunk of the old Rise Nation squad. Now, Shanks apparently is also coming along for the ride. This was a surprise, because I guess he could be the IGL for this team, but seemingly he might actually just be a content creator. I think he's been doing great things in the content space lately. Now, maybe he just joins FaZe as a content creator. The reason being that they might bring him along as well is just because the Poised, Superman, and Shanks, like being part of Rise, they were, of course, in the Challengers Stage 1. Therefore, having 3 out of the 5 players being formerly of the well, Rise roster, they will get the points associated with that, and therefore get the potential buy in the re-qualification for Challengers 2. Now, pretty funny here from Superman and Derke Derke in the reply, rumored to go to 100 Thieves, and of course, well, Superman potentially to Rise. Rise till we die, he says out all these guys and Neptune as well. We saw potentially going to NYFU. We looked at a second ago, but yes, this could be the roster. Poach in there, babybay, of course, staying. Dicey staying as well, formerly 100 Thieves Dicey, now a kind of a mainstay of FaZe. Superman, Poised, and Shanks. So potentially a 6-man roster, but kind of having Shanks on the bench there as a content creator, or whatever the case might be. But bringing Shanks on gives him, of course, it's pretty tough for Shanks, right? Knowing that he's just there as a spare part, effectively, just you know, to make sure they get their 10 circuit points and they get the bye to round of 32 in the next qualifier, which might be pretty big for FaZe, not having to go through that crazy, you know, open bracket, which they've had some problems with in the past. So, you know, respect to FaZe, to be honest, trying to make some upgrades. Like, they're not just going to sit back there and relax and leave their current roster, which is looking okay, but like maybe on the up lately, but that's still not necessarily going to be a squad that's going to win events or anything. But taking part of the old Rise core could be the kind of the next route for this team back to the upper echelons of North American Valorant. So this is some overall discussion here from Purist. 100 of these, plus Stella, plus Derek, and potentially plus Will as well. Still a bit of a question mark about that one. Poised, Superman, Poach, and Shanks as the 6th man. Dre shot up Jason and Neptune over at NYFU. Gen.G last seen trialing JC Stani and Pura. GMD and 7 to TSM. A proto to Ghost. That's kind of what's been going on as of late. We've got to talk about 100 Thieves though, because with Ethan potentially being gone, that's the big question. If Stella's coming in as the IGL, then Ethan as the IGL is now going to be gone. With Derek there and Will potentially as the new kind of jet player, duelist player, then well, there might not be space for Ethan. That was a big question mark you guys were discussing in the comment section below a few days ago. Like, you know, should Ethan be gone? Is that a good idea from 100 Thieves? Of course, look, Ethan, no doubt a fantastic player, but look, if 100 Thieves don't think he's part of their plans, they want to go down a different route, they don't feel like he can be a piece of the squad that they're trying to build, then Sean Gares, DDK, and the organization aren't going to shy away from making big moves like this. And Ethan pretty much confirms it yesterday. We heard a few days ago the team was screwing without him, with them, you know, kind of Bang and Asuna and the rest of the guys screwing with those 3 names that aforementioned, you know, Stella, Derek, and Will, as we just sorted them out. Like, they're screwing without Ethan. You'd have thought that if they were screwing and just kind of testing that team out for a few days, then, you know, maybe Ethan would have been back in the team by now. But a clip comes up last night from his stream where, you know, he's seemingly pretty dejected, to be honest, and scrolls down the right-hand side, seeing Bang and Asuna in a game together. He says, okay, maybe I'll ask Pete or Asuna, like, you know, to come in and play with us, but seemingly he's busy because they were seemingly screwing without him.
Should I ask Peter if he wants to play? I think he's busy.
So this is where we get into some pure speculation. None of this has even been talked about or rumoured or anything, but I thought it was pretty interesting to discuss. Because if Ethan is gone from 100 Thieves, which it seems like he is going to be at the moment, based on that clip and what we've heard the last few days, he's got to go somewhere. Like, a top North American team should give Ethan a go. He's that type of caliber player. Of course, you look at the Sentinels roster, this team that's now top 6 in North America, you do have to wonder whether a change here could go down. Could Ethan potentially find a way into this lineup? It's maybe not out of the realms of possibility. We know that Zoms individually hasn't been great the last few months. Of course, he's kind of their smokes player, right? He's definitely a very serviceable player, does a good job, like, does what the team need him to do, but you know, he hasn't been great, hasn't been incredibly impactful. If you look at the stats the last 60 days, pretty good on the Viper, his Astra hasn't been great, and of course the other agents as well, not particularly good. So the speculation has kind of begun, especially because if you look at the tracker for Sick over the last few days, the Sick has actually been playing an awful lot of Viper. You look at these top agents, like, you know, 7 hours, 13 matches over the last few days, like, he's been playing an awful lot of Viper recently. And Omen right just behind him. So you do have to think, like, okay, if Sick the last few days has been practicing a lot of smokes in ranked, then, you know, is there potentially an option there for what Sentinels are looking to do with their roster? He's been playing a lot of smokes, therefore, could Zoms be gone? Could Ethan come in on a different role and kind of, you know, Sick take that spot of the role that Zoms used to play? I don't know. It's obviously pure speculation. There's nothing ratifying this at all, but, you know, just given the way that Sentinels have fallen off, like, they're now way beyond, you know, not even top 1 in the world, but top 1 in North America. They're way far off that pace. Maybe a change is needed. We talked about the fact that, like, is there even a coach there right now? Are they trying to do something on that front? They seem like they might be trying to, but it hasn't happened yet. So, you know, maybe an actual roster change could be on the cards. Definitely intrigued to your perspective on that one in the comment section below. Wanted to mention real quick the GameChangers stuff that was going on. So Cloud9 White, they got all the way through to the grand finals. Phenomenal performance with these ladies. There's a phenomenal clip here from Mel. Like, you know, this game, they take it to overtime here on Bind, of course. They get down 12-11 at this point, and Mel comes up clutch with a huge 4K to take them all the way. Beat beats Shopify Rebels in the end 2-0. They shall play, I believe, the winner of Shopify Rebels versus Dignitas that comes out. That series is later today, and then the grand finals is tomorrow for the North American side. So awesome to see. Mel is honestly so impactful here on the chamber. 53 and 29 over the course of the series. Bayern goes 14-12, huge game 1, then 13-7 game 2 on the fracture. Job done for Cloud9 White. Most people consider them to be the best female team in North America, and they will play the winner of the lower finals coming up today on April the 10th. Of course, the same day the Masters kicks underway as well. Just speaking GameChangers real quick, so Misfits Gaming, after falling out and not having the result they wanted, they've parted ways with Luna Fox. They're looking for a new IGL duelist in Smoke's position, so there's Rostermania all across the park. But so yeah, just to finish off with a clip here from Najod, as maybe he's thinking with Ethan gone, could he potentially sub into the roster instead? But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on that like button, tell us the YouTube gods this is a good video, others like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.
Smoke's going down.
Headshot. One's still rafters, right?
Yeah.
Backside. Backside, one.
30 seconds left. Last player standing. Spike down A.
One flank.
Fuck.
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining. Close.
Oh!
I get to
Come on!
Last round before the switch.
We lose everything after this.
That was...
Come in,
20 seconds.
Leave anymore.
Nice.
Get out, get out.
Spike down B.
TP. One just TP.
We have bomb.
Yeah, one just
Can you
TP.
smoke it?
Hookah,
No, I don't have a smoke.
One enemy remaining.
Peek,
Double
peek.
switch.
Nice.
Oh my